of the Pioneer, how are you doing? I hope you're healthy and well. As the Pioneer team, we will soon give you the details about a very important operation, and we have shared with you in our reports in the past days. The Ukrainian armed forces targeted the Russian military academy in Luhansk using French-made SCALP missiles, and it is reported that the casualties in this attack were quite high. However, the Luhansk operations of the Ukrainian armed forces were not limited to this. So we know how important oil and natural gas are for Russia, and the Russian Federation is currently able to realize all its economic transactions thanks to these resources, because for the Russian Federation, which has a large area, these resources are almost the lifeblood. Of course, these resources are also actively used during the war, and for this reason, large amounts of oil and natural gas produced within the territory of the Russian Federation are also shipped to the war zone. However, this brings along big problems for the Russian economy. The operation carried out by the Ukrainian armed forces in the past days has once again made this clear. So what are the latest developments on the subject? Let's examine it together. But before moving on to our report, I would like to make a small reminder. As the Pioneer team, we endeavor to convey to you the developments regarding the Russia-Ukraine war, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications as not to miss our daily reports and explanations. You know that I read all of your comments on our videos, so please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments with us, and tell us in the comments what content you would like to see on the Pioneer channel. Let's start. If you are ready, the Pioneer reports. So the war between Russia and Ukraine continues on the doorstep of Europe, and the epic resistance of the Ukrainian armed forces continues despite all odds. At many points along the front line, the Russian armed forces are wasting ammunition, and the attacks of the Russian armed forces are ineffective. At many points, the attacks carried out by the Russian armed forces focus on the wrong points, and this is why we defined this situation as a waste of ammunition. The Ukrainian armed forces, on the other hand, increased the success rate in their operations by making good use of their existing ammunition. So, as you may recall, we've shared with you in our reports in the past days, the Ukrainian armed forces carried out a very critical attack using French-made SCALP missiles. And as it is known, the Russian mainland has a very large surface area. Therefore, it is a difficult process to carry out supplies. Instead, the need of the Russian army are usually collected on the Ukrainian border, and from here, it is aimed to reach the front line in a faster way. So much so that even the training areas of the Russian soldiers are established very close to the front line, and Russia had exaggerated this a little more and established a military training academy in the occupied Luhansk territory. However, the Ukrainian armed forces hit this military training academy in Luhansk with SCALP missiles. Not long after, the Luhansk region was once again shaken by the explosions. As I've mentioned at the beginning of this report, natural resources such as oil and natural gas are very important for the survival of the Russian economy, and the Russian economy is in a very difficult situation due to the sanctions. Therefore, the vitality of the economy is only provided by the export of natural resources. However, the Ukrainian armed forces are saboteurs, have recently carried out a very successful operations and managed to destroy another Russian oil depot. Moreover, this happened very soon after the attack on Luhansk military training academy. So according to information from the regional sources, a blackout operation was carried out by the Ukrainian saboteurs, and this means the following. The attack by the Ukrainian armed forces on the military training academy had already caused great shock, and that is why the Russian armed forces have increased measures in this region. There was therefore little prospect of a new attack at short notice. However, Ukrainian saboteurs set out to exploit this opportunity, and according to the allegations, the Ukrainian sabotage group, which took action at night, managed to disable all the defenses around the oil depot. Ukrainian saboteurs managed to disable the defense systems. However, none of the Russian law enforcement agencies in the area had noticed this. Therefore, they were unaware of the security situations around the oil depot. Let's put it this way. This oil depot was very important because it was reportedly established to meet the needs of the Russian armed forces. So this depot was also part of the war. But the Ukrainian armed forces did not forgive. According to reports, a movement started in the Ukrainian airspace in the morning. Missiles fired by the Ukrainian armed forces, but of unknown model, entered Luhansk at great speed. And the Russian air defense was out of action. The missiles fired by the Ukrainian armed forces hit the warehouses with a great noise, and according to the information obtained from the regional sources, a great noise was heard and felt with the hit. Damage was reported in a large area. The people of the region were surprised by the sound of a big explosion, and according to reports of military sources and many sources, fire brigades in the region immediately intervened to extinguish the fire that occurred after the explosion. However, the intervention was difficult. Both the wind and flammable nature of the oil in the warehouse greatly hindered the intervention in the fire, and according to reports, this military oil depot in Luhansk has become unusable. The occupation governor's office in the region has allegedly launched an investigation, and the Ukrainian saboteurs are reportedly being sought. However, it is unlikely to find them. Likewise, there have been similar incidents before. However, the law enforcement agencies in pursuit of the Ukrainian saboteurs have never been able to catch them. Since the beginning of the war, the Ukrainian armed forces have been playing a chess game with critical moves, despite the small amount of the ammunition and smaller population compared to Russia. A very successful resistance has been displayed so far. Likewise, Vladimir Putin, who aimed to capture Kiev for 2 weeks, lost 2 years. However, despite this, the Russian army has still not been able to reach many of the targets set, and they demonstrated the capacity of the Ukrainian armed forces. The Ukrainian armed forces fought against large quantities of ammunition. It also fought against the Russian economy. They have also made a significant progress in the war against the Russian economy, and these oil depots attacks can be considered as one of the most important examples of this. The invasion launched by the Russian leader Vladimir Putin has brought great problems for the Russian Federation. However, Putin is afraid to face these problems because facing these problems means admitting his mistakes. However, he does not have the character to face his mistakes, and this is the most important reason that makes him a dictator. But I want to know, what do you think? Do you think the missiles attacks of the Ukrainian armed forces are effective? And do you consider these missile strikes sufficient? And how do you assess the attacks on the Russian economic resources? Do you think the Ukrainian army will carry out more attacks on the occupied territories? Let me know in the comments, because you know that I read and I care a lot about all of your comments.